Go.
It's all your fault if it doesn't work, Steve-O.
It is.
Dave will
And
join
we're
us when he
live.
can. And
Yeah, I'm here. I
every
just,
funny thing I had to say is gone. It's all gone now.
Huh.
See y'all next week, guys.
Well, I can help get us going because we have a voicemail.
Oh.
All right.
So let me pull that up, y'all. Voicemail, and I don't know who this is, so I'm anxious to hear it.
Probably Jerry.
Okay, here we go.
It's not Jerry.
It's not.
Hi, this is Nick. I just wanted to call in about that guy on the Cut article. I think people don't give parenting enough credit as far as being a difficult task and a full-time job on its own, especially when you've already got a full-time job and you're doing that on top. Plus, from what it sounds like, old Michael Stinson over there has a hard enough job having to clean up after all that mess. So, we should give him enough credit. On top of that, the mental gymnastics he has to do to try and convince himself of what's not happening is actually happening. That doesn't sound easy either. So you lay off old Michael, all right? He's got plenty of hard fucking stay these guys.
Okay.
Nick. That was Nick. I think that was Michael Stinson.
That's my stepbrother, Nick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is somebody going to speak up and say, oh, I know who this is? I was like, wow.
We love
Yeah, right. Like we don't know everybody that fucking calls into this.
Apparently, he's moving to town. We're gonna.
He
get to
is.
meet
He's
him
moving
soon.
to town. Here,
865-316-6955.
All right. Well, I want to be clear to Nick and all the listeners. I in no way was shitting on being the housewife or the house husband, if you want. I was no way shitting on that. I recognize that is a hard thing to do, and also I completely respect it. It is absolutely
That part.
absolutely
The cut part.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was the whole sad tone of the just the cuck.
Dave, just keep doing that as much as you can, Dave. Just keep doing that, Dave. Just
let
do
me
the
get
whole
my
show.
popcorn can full of nickels and just start to play the song of my people.
We get rid of Dave like belching and breathing and groaning into the mic for the
mic adjustments, the constant mic adjustments. Wait, everybody adjust your microphone.
I knew this was going to be a problem.
Hold on. I gotta piggy bank.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you, Nick, for the voicemail. That's awesome.
Thanks,
Anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
It took me until you responded to remember what that was.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
The cuckolding.
Yeah, I remember now.
Cuck housewife, husband, wife. Cuck house husband.
It was the guy that like is cool with his wife going around and fucking other dudes.
Tell me about how Javier jammed his dick down your throat. Now give me a kiss, baby.
Paolo.
Whatever.
Yeah,
there were so many issues with that. I don't even know where to begin. But house husband is the least thing I got a problem with in that whole situation.
Right.
House husband was meant more of an identifying term instead of a pejorative.
Right.
Yeah.
Cuck, now that's a hard pejorative. That's like, I don't know how you'd say the N-word, but you wouldn't say the N-word.
Okay.
The fury of a Donald Trump supporter when they say the N-word is the same fury I feel when I call somebody a cuck. Like, you cuck.
I don't think I've ever called anybody a cuck. I didn't know it was something you could call people. I mean, I've heard of cuckolding.
It doesn't sound nice.
The opportunity never really to use the term correctly doesn't really come up that often.
It's become more of an internet meme, really.
Yeah.
To call it's like the right wingers online like to call liberals cucks, and then they will even call limp-wristed conservatives cuck-servatives. Oh, fucking Mitch McConnell's a fucking cuck-servative.
I agree with
Over there, get rammed in the ass by Barack Obama.
Hey,
did you hear what he's trying to do now? Old Mitch McConnell? Democrats actually have a good bill, which is HR1 that they're trying to propose, which will make politicians have to reveal either the last 5 or 10 years of their taxes. But what those tax documents reveal is if they've been paid by lobbyists. And there's some other things on there, but that was a big thing. And Mitch McConnell's trying to block it at every turn because pretty much what it does is it gets rid of the shadow, the people who donate a shitload of money and they're like, well, we'll just call ourselves Citizens United or something.
Brad, I hear
it on paper.
I hear what you're saying, and what you're saying is something that I cannot believe Democrats would actually be backing. So then I cannot, therefore, believe that that's actually what the bill does. Because
hold on, let me find it. I'll find it.
I'm not familiar with.
Speak amongst yourselves while I work the Google machine.
Oh, well, while you're looking for that, a town in South Carolina is now a Juggalo-free zone.
What?
How dare they?
I'm about to send you the link here. Hang on.
Do they know what they've been through?
Yeah. They're an oppressed class.
They're Struggalos.
Struggalos. There you go. I put the link up on there so you can check that for the stream. Did you click it?
I clicked it, and I clicked it again because I always have to click it twice. South Carolina is now Juggalo free.
Well,
these guys are pissed.
Yeah, they have to be pissed. I'm trying to skim through to see what town it was.
Columbia, South Carolina. It's the first two words.
Oh,
or
my bad.
I guess. Columbia, South Carolina. Town councilor Todd Kincannon, a.k.a. the honey badger of American politics.
The honey badger of American politics.
He don't give a shit. This honey badger
is the title.
Yeah. Recently presented ordinance in the city council that was overwhelmingly approved. The new law, which went into effect January 10th, declares the city of Columbia is now a Juggalo-free zone.
I hope they put up big signs like "Welcome to Columbia, Juggalo-free since 2019."
It's just a picture of fucking Bozo the Clown with an X through it.
They're going to define Juggalo for us. This is nice. A Juggalo, also known as Juggalette or Juggala, is loosely...
You all right?
Is loosely defined as a product of the breakdown of the white middle lower class family structure, but has also been described as an indolent, witless, over self-glorifying real bunch of fags.
This isn't real.
It's a real article.
That's not real.
Who are a scourge on humanity. Individuals who describe themselves as juggalos often claim to be misunderstood by society and like to talk about stabbing, beating, and killing people while dressed as clowns who drink a lot of pop. Wait, is this a real site?
I don't think that's real because they would say soda in South Carolina.
The name of this site is That's Pretty Good Science.
Such good science.
There's one other website that talks about it.
Okay.
I want to hear what the actual bill says because that did not sound like an actual bill to me.
No.
I want to hear how they justify this unconstitutional act.
I don't know if they could put a bunch of fags on paper and then bring it into a courthouse. Well, it's Carolinas, I guess. No.
Yeah, it does not have the ordinance. Let's see. Does it name the ordinance?
If they can't name the ordinance, then it's bogus.
Fake news.
Yeah. News. This other website I found says South Carolina town now a Juggalo-free zone. Trending story found 2 years ago on WordPress.
Oh, yep.
This was from 2017. Yeah. It popped up in my Google feed.
We are
last week.
On top of our fact checking here at Verbal Assault.
That's right.
Immediate.
I was really, my feelings were hurt by that for a second.
Well, now there's some local that we could. There's a local law that's coming in. It's here in Tennessee. Are you guys following the double taxation law?
No.
Oh,
crickets tell me no.
No,
we don't live in Tennessee, so no.
Dave, I'm so sick of politics. I can't. I'm so sick of all the outrage and shit. I've just been ignoring almost everything all week.
Well, it's not so
So-
much outrage.
What? I'll show you what's outrage. You just tell me.
Okay.
Tell
Tell
me.
about white privilege, Nathan.
Okay.
White privilege doesn't exist. How about that? How about that?
So there's a
an
law
outrage.
passed in
True.
Tennessee that says, and I'm not, when I first heard this, I went, what? But then I kind of wrapped my mind around it and said, that's interesting. You will no longer, as a woman in Tennessee, be charged tax on your feminine products.
Are we finally going to talk about this?
Oh, this makes me want to
that's right.
identify as a woman and go out and buy feminine products now.
Excuse me?
You've been
Hold on. Say
bringing
that
up
again.
for literally weeks.
I want to
Patrick,
not
what?
pay tax.
I want to now go buy tampons in bulk and then sell them in a tax state.
I'm gonna buy
make
tampons in bulk.
all kinds
and
of
they're just gonna
profits.
replace
Let's
my
do it.
paper towel budget.
Yeah.
You
They
guys
called
have,
it-
you
I'll
guys
be
have
the
never had to
tampon
pay for
expert.
them.
Yeah, I mean,
But we're going to pay for them now.
What?
We're going to pay for it now and then sell it in another state.
We're gonna make Mexico
Make
pay
so
for
much
it.
money.
You guys have to all be joking. You have
What?
to.
What? Why should tampons not be taxed?
Because
It's
because nobody is required to buy them except for
Our
women.
fucking food is taxed.
But
Because
it is
Something everybody needs.
I can explain it.
But there's nothing that guys inherently have to buy every month.
So a certain portion of your population is burdened. I think that's the constitutional word there, and by double taxation.
Why is it double taxation?
Because they're already paid as a regular citizens, a female or a male, they all pay taxes. But females have to pay an additional sales tax on this one particular item because
wow.
they're females.
So whenever I buy anything, I'm double taxed.
Well,
you don't have to buy anything
degree.
because you're a man.
I'm double
You're
taxed.
taxed out the
I
ass
don't have to
anyway.
buy
You pay
food.
taxes on your paycheck.
I don't have to buy
taxes when
food.
you buy groceries. You pay taxes when you buy fast food.
I don't have to buy food. Is that not required?
Everybody
for my-
has to buy food.
We
I
don't.
think
We
what
don't pay
the-
sales tax for grocery items, like for typical
Yeah.
grocery items.
Some
And they dialed
states
that
don't.
back in
Right.
Tennessee. So the sales tax on groceries is less than other stuff.
Right.
So, but that's, when I heard that, I went, well, that's not fair. And then you start thinking about it, it's like, well, as a married man, when
When you start feeling like a cuck.
when I got to go buy the stuff, like, that certain portion of the population really is
They have no
paying more
choice.
tax than, they have no choice. Unless they
there's a
go to the
choice.
clean shed.
Yeah.
There is a choice, but you guys don't want us to make that fucking choice. You don't. You want us to keep buying them because it's not something that anybody wants to fucking have to deal with, especially men. Nobody wants to deal with that shit. We have to. We have
I
to
don't
deal
know
with
about
it.
especially men. I think it would still be messier for the women.
Do you
Yeah.
think it would make you uncomfortable if you were decided to take public transportation and a woman got off of the seat and you needed a place to sit and there was just a fucking puddle of blood sitting on the seat because they decided not to buy tampons anymore? I think you'd be pretty uncomfortable about that.
But I don't think I would be more uncomfortable than her.
I'll tell you what makes me uncomfortable: being at Nader's for karaoke and then seeing a girl pull a tampon from between her legs and put it on her plate of spent chicken wings and then walk away.
No.
That makes me uncomfortable.
I didn't know you
Right.
were there.
I feel pretty uncomfortable.
My male privilege didn't save me then.
Mhm.
She was
All
like, don't need this.
It's uncomfortable for everyone, and yes, you're right. It would be uncomfortable. There are a lot of women that choose to free bleed. There are a lot of women that do that. I will
There's
never
not a
be.
lot.
There.
A lot.
Well, it's probably a large
Big word.
absolute number, but it is a low percentage.
Right,
I'll
of
say
course.
They wear sweatpants when they do it.
I don't think
Think
it
about
matters
I
what
don't
you
think
wear.
it
It's
would-
still
yeah.
gonna suck.
Listen.
That's not.
Biblical Israel, ancient Jews had it right. When it's that time of the month,
Expel her from the town.
you all must leave town and go and sit in a shack
For a whole month.
No,
for
just
that
for the
time.
week. Just
They
for
What-
go
the
on a
was the-
quest
Just for the week. And
Find the Lord.
if you sit on anything, it has to be burned.
It's just what
it's
the
a
Bible
perfect,
says.
It's the perfect solution. We don't have to worry about taxes. It's what the Bible says.
What was what they called it? Oh God, the unclean shed.
Unclean.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
that was-
Yeah.
I'm not sure the
God,
word
no.
shed appears in the Bible anywhere.
Unclean definitely appears.
Yeah, oh
but
yeah. It was like during her uncleanliness, I think.
Yeah. It says,
Well-
"Get ye out of the camp."
Well,
Get
I
out
guess
of
where
camp.
I'm taking that from was we were watching a show about the Randy Weaver incident, and they were old school stuff. And his wife would have to, when she would do that, she went to the unclean shed out on their property.
Yep.
That's where I just took that from.
That's Old Testament right there.
Gotta love
Horse
that
shit is
Bible.
what that is.
Read
Now
your Bible,
listen.
kids.
Yeah, you should read. You should definitely read your Bible.
Uh-oh.
Now, I want to be clear. I'm against any kind of tax. I'm against all taxes.
How you
All
gonna
of
pay
them?
for the roads?
So, in principle, I don't want to hear your this and that. I'm just saying, in principle, I'm against taxes. Obviously, there needs to be some taxes, but this misandrist, hateful, men-hating law.
Men hating law.
All right, okay, straight from the
I'm just
straight from the good
These
book.
are Bible quotes.
Straight from the good book.
Yeah,
Patrick
Bible.
just sent me this
Yep.
Leviticus
nice.
chapter 15, verse 19 through 30. I'm probably not going to get through the whole thing.
You know the one.
Oh my God.
Go for it.
When a woman has a discharge, and the discharge in her body is blood, she shall be in her menstrual impurity for 7 days, and whoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything on which she lies during her menstrual impurity shall be unclean. Everything also on which she sits shall be unclean, and whoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. What happens in the evening? All of a sudden you're clean.
It's gone.
And,
Yeah.
When
and
Jesus
whoever
comes back to do the laundry.
You should go to Leviticus 15:28 through 30 about what she'll do.
because that's when the women come back to do the laundry. I think everybody missed it. Sorry, Brad. That was really funny. Which one did you say to go to? Deuteronomy?
Leviticus 15:28 through 30. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so just keep going. And whoever touches anything on which she sits, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself
Okay,
in water
yeah.
and be unclean. Oh, I missed that.
No,
Or I
no,
just said
it's- the one I'm talking about is further down. I think it's from a different version of the Bible. But
It's
About what she
right
has to do.
it's right there at the bottom
Oh.
of what I can see.
yeah.
Down here. Okay.
Yeah.
But if she is cleansed of her discharge, she shall count for herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, whatever you got lying around, and bring them to the priest, to the entrance of the tent of meeting. And the priest shall use one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make atonement for her before the Lord for her unclean discharge.
That
God.
is so unfair.
See, those are heavy taxes.
What's the price of turtle doves back in the day?
You just got to
Pretty
catch them.
steep.
The price of turtle doves now.
Once a month, you got to get some of those. Yeah. That's a cost.
That's why the Moabites and the Levitivites and the Mosquitobites were all wandering around in the desert. They were looking for turtle doves. They didn't find them. You're not gonna
They
find
got-
turtle doves.
They got all used up at Christmas. So
All
is that
good.
why you get 2 turtle doves?
To clean
On
yourself?
Christmas, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
2 turtle doves because she's unclean?
Are you
Yep.
using these poor little white turtle doves to actually clean yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, do you have to rub the turtle dove onto that?
It takes 2, and then you burn them.
It takes
Oh,
2,
burn one and-
baby.
Oh, okay. That's gross.
Let
What?
me be clear that I do not go to the grocery store once a month and just grumble. And I'm not like, oh man, I have to fucking buy these bullshit things again. Like
Oh yeah, you buy them in
I
bulk,
don't-
I'm sure.
I don't care about this. Like, it's not something that I sit and think about. It's not something that I feel like I'm being wronged for. But when it's presented in my face like this, like, it is something that I'm willing to argue because it does suck. Like there are alternatives. You can get on birth control that stops you from being unclean for 7 days once a month, but it fucks with your hormones. Like there are all kinds of alternatives that you can do, but the easiest thing, the most convenient thing is something that no one else has to buy except for us. And what I guess it's double taxed. I don't really understand how it's double taxed, as Dave was explaining.
Check that receipt.
Well, count your blessings because buying your tampons, that's got to be a lot cheaper than buying 2 turtle doves, each priced at $132.
I
plus
guess.
shipping and handling from India.
Yeah.
Wow.
I should
Does
be
this
grateful.
cover free bleeding males who also menstruate?
$75 shipping.
That's
I don't
what
see
covers
that
it.
on the Turtle Dove website.
What about that? What about men who identify as women?
Who are also who menstruate?
Are they gonna have to pay
Menstruating males.
taxes on?
I think if
tampons?
you just buy the product, they're gonna assume it's for a woman or
It's
et
probably
cetera.
it's just like any other product that's not taxed. It's like this is no longer taxed.
it's just a code in a
it's
system.
not gonna matter who purchases it.
Yeah, I don't think it's
just
gonna
not
matter.
gonna be taxed.
Because we know who it's for.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I'm happy. Guys use them for what, like nosebleeds and shit, right?
Oh, all the time.
Never.
Yeah.
Pound for pound,
every other
tampons
day.
absorb more than paper towels. You're not shoving paper towels up there. Somebody's probably tried that at some point.
Sometimes
Ladies-
they're desperate.
Ladies, call in 865-316-6955. What have you shoved into your vagina to help it absorb
Yeah.
Or not.
all
Or
the
not.
things?
Shut up, Dave.
We want to know.
All we have to live for.
We got to get this phone number a popping.
All right. Speaking of tampons,
Wow, that's a segue.
look at this.
I was going to say,
Look
speaking
at
of
this big
douches,
shiny tampon.
stick this
Wow.
where the sun don't
Yeah.
shine.
Yeah, I haven't brought this up, I don't think. And I figure I might as well now because I like to give these updates about the big Mars ship. It's called the BFR that SpaceX is building. And they have this prototype that they've been working on down in Boca Chica, Texas, which is real close to the Mexican border. It's like all the way down at the tip, down at the southern tip of Texas. And there's a few people that live down there that are big SpaceX fans, and they've been following this for a while. Like when they first put it up, a lot of people thought that they must be building a water tower because this is also where their launch pad is going to be.
I ain't never seen nothing like that in Boca Chica before.
No. And as time went on, they kept taking pictures, and it became obvious, and the fans just started putting it together. Like this has to be like a test article for the BFR, and they finally did confirm that. And this is actually a picture taken by SpaceX and posted by SpaceX. It's actually got a little Starman for scale down there.
Stainless steel.
Yeah, stainless steel. So they've I don't know how much you remember, these updates. They change all the time. Like they've been working on BFR for several years now, but really they've been working on the design, and a lot of stuff has been changing as time goes on. But they have now settled on using stainless steel to build this rocket instead of carbon fiber. They were originally going to make like the biggest carbon fiber structure that's ever been done, and apparently it was really hard. Not a huge surprise, but the big surprise was that they decided to switch to this fucking awesome chrome-looking stainless steel thing. But people that know anything about rocketry, and of course I'm learning as I'm reading all this shit too. I didn't know stainless steel was such a bad idea, except for the fact that, yeah, it's heavy. I think of it as heavy, but, what do I know? But there are some interesting advantages to using stainless steel. While it is heavy, it's also really strong.
It looks shiny.
And it doesn't stain.
No,
It doesn't stain. It's
it
stainless.
is without stain.
Yeah.
less.
No stains from space.
Now there was back in the day, the early Atlas rockets were built. I think they call it balloon steel. Like basically, this rocket had to be pressurized in order to stand up and not just fall over. There's actually videos. I should have looked one up. But, most people are listening to audio, so you could look up a video of Atlas crumpling under its own weight. I guess because it lost pressurization. And so a lot of people are like, well, why the fuck would you want to do this? Well, it's really cheap is one of the things. Where this what I'm scrolling in. This is actually an article on Popular Mechanics. It's been out there for a couple of weeks, about a week now, where Elon did an interview with them and was talking about the benefits. It's super cheap. Like what he said was carbon fiber is $135 per kilogram, and you end up with about 35% waste because you make it and then you cut the shape that you need out of it, and then a bunch of it is thrown away. Whereas this is I could probably find it real quick. It's like $5 a kilogram. Yeah, no, $3. Steel is $3.
Steel everywhere. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I really appreciate is just that they have an American flag right there.
Yeah, I think that was a nice touch. I really
That's
do.
just-
Like instead of plastering a big SpaceX logo on it, I think it is nice because I mean they're wanting.
Somebody still cares about America.
That looks so
That's
old
not,
school too.
That's not Trump. Somebody
Yeah.
still cares
Yeah.
about America. That's not Trump.
So basically, there's ways of making it structurally sound, and they're using a different kind of stainless steel. There's different kinds of mixtures and or not ores. What is it? What do you call it?
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah.
Alloys.
That's it. So I guess the performance penalty from it being heavier is worth it because of some of these benefits. Another benefit is that the way they're going to do it, they're not even going to need a heat shield because this is going to be highly polished, and it's actually going to reflect that heat away from the rocket. Because when they're coming into the atmosphere, we all picture, there's this flame and it's right against the spacecraft. It's the spacecraft itself is on fire. Well, actually, that flame is the atmosphere in front of it trying to move out of the way quickly. So there's actually kind of a separation, as far as I understand. Somebody could be listening to this and be like, "You got this all wrong," but the way that it seems like it's been explained to me is there's a little bit of a gap there. And so really most of what you're getting, or I don't know if most is the right word, but you're getting radiative heat. It's not the actual contact on the heat shield where you're getting your heat from. It's radiating from that layer of burning atmosphere in front. So it's going to reflect a lot of that heat away. They're going to do a thing where they're going to double layer the windward side, the belly of the rocket. And there's going to be like a layer and then a small gap and then another layer, and they're going to flow cryogenic fuel through that, and the outside layer is going to have tiny little perforations in it that you have to get really close up to see. They're tiny, tiny little perforations, and some of that fuel is just going to be bled through, that cryogenic fuel bled through those perforations to help further with cooling.
Like
See?
sweat. Like
So they're
sweating.
right, exactly. And actually, they I think they even called it what is it? Perspirative cooling. Perspirative cooling. So that eliminates the need for a heat shield, which is something that will, even if it's like, so you can build a heat shield. It's called ablative, where it's made to burn away, and that removes a lot of the heat. Or you can make it like the space shuttle had tiles that were just really good at absorbing heat and not transferring it to,
Yeah, displacing it.
right. But even that would have to be replaced over time. But a system like this could last much longer and a lot of flights. And now you might think, well, they're using up all their fuel, bleeding it through the belly. Well, actually, there's a lot of uses for fuel on a rocket. Not all of the fuel gets burned. Some of it is used for hydraulic fluid, for spinning up turbo pumps, or like in SpaceX's case. I'm not sure if they use their fuel, but it could be used to power the hydraulic pumps that control the grid fins as it's coming down. That might be something else. But this is not just for looks, you see. This actually has a purpose. Back in the day, and I have this muted, before they actually started landing the Falcon 9, they had this thing called the Grasshopper, which was basically a miniature version of a Falcon 9. It just had one engine on it, and they just started out with these tiny little hops going up and back down, and then they gradually got higher and higher until it could go up, I don't know, 1,000 meters or something, and then come back down. And that's how they learned how to land the Falcon 9. And so that's what they're planning on doing with this. And actually this week they delivered some, I don't know how many, but some Raptor engines. It could be 1 or it could be 3, it could be 5, I don't know. But Elon tweeted a picture of some Raptor engines that were delivered, and that's the engine that's going to power this huge rocket. So it leads you to believe that these tests are coming soon. The only problem is, well, it kind of got blown over. There was
it was blown. Wait, it blew over. It fell over.
Wind.
Yeah,
the wind blew it over.
I had an article. Yeah.
That was all dented. Oh shit.
Well, not the whole thing. Where's that damn link?
This makes me think of. It makes me wonder if Elon Musk or whoever was working on this read David Brin. David Brin is a pretty well-known, great science fiction writer. He wrote a movie. He wrote a book in the early 80s, Sundiver, where they take a trip. These people are going to explore deep into the sun, and their ship is a spherical mirror. The whole ship is a mirror, and it's a sphere.
Yeah.
And it was able to get, partially into the outer, corona of the sun.
Right.
And I know Elon Musk reads science fiction because he has talked about one of my favorite authors, Ian M. Banks, before. He has referenced him on Twitter before.
Well,
what's it? There's it. Oh, it's all scratched. I see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one, but yeah. So basically, so they had it. They stood it up. They put the whole thing together, but then they took this top portion and they set it back down on the ground. And that's the part that blew over, not the bottom section. So the bottom section is still fine, but this top cone part blew over and crumpled under its own weight. So they got to put that together. But they threw this thing together in like a couple of weeks. Like it did not take long for that to be standing on its own. So they'll decide if they want to fix it or if they want to just build another one, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just really cool to see that there is hardware being created for this Mars rocket, and it might be coming sooner than you think. We'll at least get to see hop tests, and that'll be neat because there's a lot of fans down there that are anxious to be the first one to get pictures or video or whatever. So even if
they're hopping to it,
so even if SpaceX doesn't stream it, which they didn't stream the Grasshopper test back in the day, so I assume they're not going to stream it. But hell, these people would be out there probably with their drones and streams and whatever. So you go. We're going to Mars.
Going to Mars, people. We're going to be, hopefully, some of us are going to be in Florida also for this manned launch coming up.
Oh yeah, that'll be hopefully June, July.
If we can work this launch in between visits to the strip club, we'll make it work.
Oh yeah, before and after.
Yeah. Before and after.
Rockets are going to get launched, boys. Yeehaw!
Well, I mean, technically you could just walk outside from any of the strip clubs in town and still see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're anywhere on A1A, you can see a rocket launch. It's not the best view, It's better to be out on the beach or at Kennedy Space Center or something like that. But
out of all the strip clubs, which would be the best view?
Probably Cheaters.
I'd rather go to Cheaters.
All right.
You want to take Brad's word for it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been to Lido's enough times. No, it's not about it.
Hey, Brad. Did you take my advice and get some wax for that mustache, or is that just all natural?
All natural.
You just trained it. You basically just trained the hairs.
I literally spent 3 minutes doing this on the couch the other night, and boom. And then this is just I have a mischievous plan mustache. That girl over there looks real good. Be a shame if she was tied up and put on some train tracks.
Not enough train tracks around here.
No trains on this island. Makes sense, I guess.
Secret trains, underwater trains.
Underwater trains.
These gifts you choose, Steve-O, I'm telling you, man. I'm staring at this guy sliding underneath this door over and over again. He's going to hurt himself.
And he makes it every time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Better every loop.
Yeah, you can check this out on mixer.com/Verbal Assault Podcast or later on YouTube.
That's right.
How's
He's getting
everybody
good
doing?
at the plugs.
How's everybody doing? I've been spending the whole week. All I've been doing is playing Resident Evil 2 remake, which
How is that?
It's amazing.
Good.
They
Gonna
they
buy
made
that tomorrow.
all the right choices. It's still got the scary shit. It's still got the puzzles, but they modernized the controls. They made a better map system, so it's not so goddamn frustrating. You can save anytime you want, pretty much.
Thank God.
Oh, no more ink ribbons. And
Yeah, no more finding those and like having to like, oh, when do I save? I don't know. Yeah, so they made it. It's still the same game, but it's playable today, and it doesn't make you want to fucking kill yourself.
Does it still
It's
have
awesome.
the fixed camera angles?
No.
No, it's third person, behind the shoulder, controls really, really well.
Did they?
Yeah, that was
so
the-
they fixed the running.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I didn't get into Resident Evil. And I never played that one. I never played the first. I never played any of them. I've watched some of them be played, but I never got into them because I didn't like the camera view.
I highly
It's too
encourage-
creepy for me.
It's a good scary game. It's got it's got decent exploration puzzles, kind of stuff. Good jump scares.
I
If
don't
you're
guess
looking
it's
for
on
that kind of
Xbox.
thing.
That's the
Huh?
one with Chris Redfield and Claire. What's her face?
No, it's Claire Redfield and Leon Kennedy.
Yeah.
Your two
Oh.
characters. Yeah.
That was close. Yeah. Yep. That is.
That's from the first one.
Ah.
But all that to say, what has everybody else been up to this week? Bekah, wait, Bekah, you have a story.
I do.
Yes, I just remember this.
We have an update to the Massage Saga.
Everybody,
God.
get your if your pants aren't off, they should be now.
Mine
Way ahead
sure
of
were. All right, so you guys know the last time I talked about massage, I had found my place, right? Like I found the perfect place. I had apprehensions. Is that a word? Apprehensions?
Mhm.
Apprehensions about it, but
Did that masseuse find his place too?
I went back last Saturday and I broke my own personal rule of not getting a massage on a work day because it makes you feel like complete garbage when you have to go to work after it. It almost makes you feel hungover. Like the toxins that are released from your muscles or whatever, they fuck with your brain. That's,
Toxins,
I
right?
mean,
So many
nice
toxins.
and-
fucking look it up.
What do I do?
Yeah.
All these
It's like
I think it's
toxins.
nice-
more like,
like
oh, I'm
nice
super relaxed and I
release.
have to deal with a bunch of dickholes
I've been
that are trying to
massaged.
tell me about how they want to fuck a ventriloquist.
Okay, well, if you guys want to go get a massage and then tell me it doesn't fuck with your brain, then
No,
we
it
can have
does.
this conversation.
It does. I always snicker when I hear toxins because it's one of those things that, like, it's one of those woo-woo things that
Yeah,
people
me
like
and
to
Steve
use
are
to-
in the same
they like
wavelength
to
on
tell
that.
you that this is good for you because it gets rid of those toxins.
Yeah, this will detox. Drink this lemon water; it'll detox you.
Yeah.
I was sorry. I have a liver and kidneys, sir. I do not need your lemon water. Sorry, Bekah, go ahead.
So I went back and I have seen this same masseur, whatever you call the man version, I think 3 times now. And this time he decided that he was going to whisper to me.
God.
I have
See my face right now?
a portable massage table. He
Trying to
said-
cut out the middle lady, brushing her teeth. Fuck her budget. I got bills to pay too. I got 3 kids. I told you already.
That bitch never tells me what day to show up. She says the wrong day every goddamn time.
And
I want to
yells
be
at
my
me
own
about it.
man, work on my own schedule. I'm trying to feed my kids with the same hands covered in oil.
So,
I was wondering why you didn't do this if you just didn't want them in your home or something. Because I was like, why didn't she get a private person and just have them do it? Then it's not but I wouldn't want anybody in my home.
There is an app. Ben Shapiro advertises an app where you can just like punch it up and have them show up at your door like within
Uber masseuse.
Massuber.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he goes on like he's whispering, like he's down next to my face whispering this shit to me, and he's like, I could.
I have a table.
And Jimmy Johnson.
That's worth watching the feed for.
I have my own table.
And Jimmy Johnson.
It's so fucking creepy.
There's a hole for your face.
There's a hole for your face.
There's a hole for your face.
Trace a dick with your finger on this table, and I'll leave one of my business cards between your butt cheeks.
I bring my own candles.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So he continues to whisper to me, and he says, I can secretly give you my number. And
Secretly?
anytime you want a massage.
Well, the
I
lady's
can
in the
come
other
to your
room. Don't
house.
forget. You know,
Right.
he doesn't want to upset the lady that is employing him.
Right. Because it's stealing customers from the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say anything. Like I did not respond whatsoever. And he brought it up again 5 minutes later, and he said it again.
Oh, you might have been asleep whenever I said this before.
Yeah. And so I just said, you probably ought to be quiet. You're going to get in trouble. And the reason, okay, I'm heavily contemplating actually doing it, mostly so that I have a story for the podcast. But
You're gonna end up with a story you don't want to tell.
Yeah.
Right, you gotta keep it like PG-13 at least.
that's
Oh, I mean, we don't care, but you might
Yeah.
care.
that's not going to happen. But the reason I don't want to get a massage in my house is because my house is not like they set it up like it's
They got
it's
the
a
music,
dark
the
room. Yeah.
candles.
And my house is not that. Like I don't have a massage room.
We talk about you.
could.
I see a couch of it.
Hey, I'll set it up for you. I have my own new age CDs.
I hear you've got a podcast room you're not using anymore.
I'll put my stones in your microwave. They'll heat up quick.
Wait, does that work? Because microwave works on water.
That's not the point.
Don't put rocks in the microwave. Don't do it.
Oh, they'll explode, won't they?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh, they have metal in them. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Well, it gets worse.
No.
Oh, it gets worse.
Good.
if you can believe it. So, if you ever have like a headache and like say you have a headache and somebody like rubs the back of your neck or something and it makes it feel better, so you just sometimes just like that little sound that that feels good.
Yeah.
Towards the end
that
of
little sound. That's
towards the end of the massage, he was making that sound while massaging me, right? Okay. Did I already tell this story? I feel like I did.
Wait,
Maybe I
what
just
sound?
told someone else.
What's
Like
Sound.
the tiny little like that little moan of like something feels good. That.
Uh-huh.
So he makes that sound. Okay.
Right as
Listen,
he's massaging your butt, isn't he? Right as he's massaging your butt.
we don't need to get into that.
Yep.
So
Oh, God.
I know how this works.
he got into it.
I know
all
how
right.
this works.
So at the end, he says, all right, we're out of time. And he literally runs out of the room. He runs out and I get up and I get ready to go out to the front counter and there's no one there. And I had been in the room for like 10 minutes, well, maybe not 10 minutes. That might be an exaggeration, but like you kind of feel woozy when you get up and you have to kind of reorient yourself and put your clothes back on. And I got to the front and the Chinese lady comes out and she goes, oh, he in the bathroom. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So he was in the bathroom for about 10 minutes after he ran
Oh.
out of the room. But listen, there is another possible explanation, okay? He could have made that sound. He could have been making those sounds because his stomach hurt and he really had to poop.
Nope.
Don't think
And he
so.
ran to the bathroom to poop.
No.
I just need this release. I'll be out in a minute.
What? Whatever it takes to make you go to sleep at night, girl.
Like, was he hunched over when he ran? To try
Play
to
that
hide something?
Yanni.
I wasn't staring at him. Like, I just know that he ran out of the room. But so listeners,
here's what I know. There is no man that does this that is not a dirtbag, unless he's gay. But then, if he's gay and he's massaging dudes, he's probably a dirtbag.
And that's
there
the
is
thing.
just no way.
That's the hardest thing for me is I'm just trying to find a professional dude to like. It doesn't.
Go ahead, tell the story.
hard.
I will take you back. We can do it at your place. Let us go back to your place.
That song plays there.
I have all the Oreos.
I like Yanni.
Let me tell you a secret. I had a move so secret. I tried to use it in massage school and I was banned forever. But instead, it's too sexy.
Massage school could not handle my sexy.
They took away all of my paperwork and my I-90.
They sent me home to Honduras.
They tried to handcuff these beautiful, strong hands. They tried to stop me from massaging, but no! I will.
I'll give you a sneak preview. You take your fingers, you twist them to the side.
Oh my god.
You go in and then, only then, twist your fingers apart, and you will have sweet relief.
Stop it! Oh my god!
Scream as I run to the bathroom and let out the mightiest of ejaculations into the toilet water where the Chinese lady has spilled her toothpaste.
All right.
This isn't fair. How come you guys are better at telling my stories than I am?
Oh man.
Oh my god, I'm crying here. Jesus.
It's gotten too hot in this camper.
It's getting hot in the campus. I know what to
listeners, call 865-316-6955 and tell me whether or not I should go through with this so that I have a good story to tell.
Or tell us where you like to put fingers in your holes. You know.
What?
What?
Where you like to put fingers in your holes?
You didn't listen to the story.
I was laughing my ass off because of the Yanni and the face that Nathan makes when he gets all up to the screen. It's too much.
Well, just another reason to view the podcast live on Mixer.
It's the only way.
Right?
It's the only way to do it.
Wow.
Gotta rest.
Wait,
guys, I'm gonna need to go to the bathroom for a minute.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I'll
are
do some
we ending this?
Some light calisthenics.
Didn't you say something about in conclusion?
Oh, I was just saying the listeners should call in and
okay.
let me know whether or not I should do it.
And let us know if you've got a similar story. We'd love to hear
Yeah,
them.
We definitely want to hear those.
You can take all the time you want on that voicemail. I don't think it's timed at all.
It times out, I think.
Maybe at, 2 minutes? I mean, we've had them that.
Yeah, it's a long
We'll time
time.
them out if they're going too long. I mean, come on.
Well, we want to hear them.
If they got the gold, we'll listen. But if it's, can't see me wink. You'll know when to call it.
I'm gonna send this link here.
All right, you got something?
You got a link, Dave?
You got that?
Well,
Yanni?
it's for Bekah, but
What?
It's a personal link for Bekah.
Well, no, I saw this commercial, and so I'm trying to give a trigger warning so Bekah doesn't freak out. But this commercial,
Dave, we don't do trigger warnings on verbal assault.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Here, I'm gonna draw a picture of a dick in the the chat, just so you know.
Okay.
Can you do that?
I mean,
Your
boom.
trigger
Oh, look at
warning
that.
There it is.
in verbal assault, your trigger warning is when Brad does this.
Yeah.
Trigger.
When he does that, you know you've got your warning.
You've been triggered. You pull your knuckles back like you're pulling the trigger, baby.
Are you sending this link on Hangouts, or do I get to click
Yeah.
it?
What
I
do we
don't
do?
know how to do that.
Just click the thing.
the little,
in the video.
Yeah, if
The
you
little
put your...
message box.
Oh, he's on iPad.
It should
Ooh,
still be
but
on there.
can I send it through Hangouts
Yeah,
on
you
my
can send it
phone?
through- Yeah. Once you're in Hangouts, there's a little message icon. You can do it on iOS.
Oh well.
865-316-6955. Call in and we will solve all your tech problems. Do you want to call Grandma? Do you want to tell Grandma how to use FaceTime? Call us up. We'll tell you. We'll walk
And if
you
we
through it.
solve those tech problems, you can send us money on Patreon. That's how you can pay us.
Yeah.
$5 on Patreon. We'll defrag your computer
Yep.
Well, defrag.
for free.
The utmost important defrag.
Did that check clear? Guess what? If you got Windows 10, it's been doing it the whole time, baby. Thank you very much.
Did you ever see where Best Buy, they had it with their Geek Squad? I remember seeing a big poster and it was like, we'll set up your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One. It is only $100. We'll set it up.
I saw that.
Amazon does that too.
And actually, you could get. They had this package deal where you can get an Xbox 2 years of gold, and Geek Squad would come set it up. Which again, like you said, why would you need that? But it was this ridiculous interest charge over. It was 2 years financed. It was ridiculous. I mean, you ended up paying $800 for the Xbox by the time it was all done.
Wow. I remember when Nintendos were the newest system, and I took pride in that I could set one up. Like, we used to go to Boys Club, and like the boundary to being able to play was that nobody knew how to set it up. There was a TV, there was a Nintendo, but you had to know how to set it up. None of the counselors or whatever they called them would do it. You just had
Check
to
your email.
Who, me?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
While he's doing that, can I ask Patrick why he's sitting in a green room?
In a green room?
Yeah,
I
why
think
are
it's
you?
my camera on the laptop. That's what it is. It's not really green. It's just the camera that I have on my laptop right now.
Yeah.
Is there green jelly on that
Fucking
camera?
algae filter.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's the Shrek room.
Just the lighting. But no, the room is not green. It's just.
All right. All right.
Oh, wait, this is it.
This
Wait.
is it. That's
Oh,
it. That's right away.
I thought this
Oh
was.
fuck!
It's
Dave.
a commercial. It's a
Let's
commercial.
see this commercial.
Maybe
So
not.
it's going to
see it.
start right
Maybe
away.
you
Show
can
it.
trust you won't be next to a
Share
loud
it.
eater. Or you could just trust Duracell.
Right,
You need the
let's-
most
here
trusted
we go.
battery in your noise-canceling headphones. Maybe not. Maybe you could trust you won't be next to a loud eater. You could just trust Duracell.
Do they really take batteries? How old is this?
Well, it's
I don't know. I just saw it the other day.
noise
So this
canceling
is
headphones.
just- This is for Becca's benefit. This whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all it was. I saw this
No, I
commercial,
get it, yeah.
and it made me twitch because that kid was crunching them chips, man.
No, that's how every fucking person eats chips. That's not just exaggerated on the commercial. That's how everyone eats chips.
They just stare at you, just eating chips.
And going,
I stare. No, the difference is I stare at people while they do that, and they don't know.
Well,
that.
that's
I do. You should see me at fucking Salsaritas. I go there and there's a family just
Yeah,
fucking
you can't.
chomping on their
I mean,
fucking
do
chips,
it.
and I'm just like this.
You can't.
All right, so this is a good time to ask. So you've been magically granted with this power to make a law, a universal law that if anybody breaks this law, they immediately die.
Damn.
So I think we know what Bekah's would be if you ever eat chips at all
No,
around
no.
other people.
Okay. Can I make it more broad than that?
You can do whatever you want. It's your law.
If you're just like rude at all, like if you're just rude for no reason, you're dead.
According
Dead.
to your definition of rudeness.
No, according to basic common courtesy.
Then we're all dead. Well, everybody's dead.
Our mornings, are you given a pass in the morning? Like in the first maybe hour that you wake up?
There is almost no reason for someone to go to a restaurant and eat that way and not like have any regard for anybody else around them. There are people, it is a thing. People get like, it makes me so mad that like I start to actually shake when people eat that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like an asshole because I can't, if it's really hard for me to say something to somebody about it. It has to be a certain point of comfort with a person that I can tell them that it makes me feel that way. But until then, I suffer. And it makes me feel like an asshole to tell people like, listen, I'm sorry, I just cannot handle that. And it's because, you know, my mom forced it into mine and my sister's head that it's rude to make any sound whatsoever when you eat. And so I guess from being a small child and hearing that constantly drilled into my head, it has made me, I have the utmost aversion to the sound of people chewing. And
Thanksgiving before last, we were at my house and somehow we got onto this topic. And I was talking, me and Bekah and my sisters were talking about Bekah's chewing thing. And my sisters were like, oh yeah, me too. And I remember this Thanksgiving. I remember thinking about it and I was just like laughing so hard. And not because of like anything like issue with Bekah. It was just, I remember my mom and how she must have felt because when we were talking about that, my mom had walked up behind us. Like we were sitting at the table and my mom had walked up and she was eating something. She was like right behind you and she was like eating celery or something.
Oh yeah.
And I remember looking past Bekah and my mom like took a bite and was like, she like stopped.
Oh,
and then she like turned and walked and she turned and walked away.
Oh no.
And I never told Bekah about that.
Until this moment?
This was the perfect moment to reveal that.
That's awesome.
That's where I'm the asshole.
No.
That's just a situational comedy right there, man.
You know,
it's good
it's
stuff.
just how stuff plays out sometimes. It's just
Anybody else have any laws they want to make?
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Here's my law, and I'm serious about this. I am not joking in any way.
People have to die when they commit this heinous act.
If you, this includes people in everyday life, people in the media, journalists, politicians, anybody. If you willfully lie to, not just lie, but if you lie to intentionally hurt somebody else, if your intent is to damage another person, you immediately die.
Yes. That's very close to what I was going to say. I was going to say if you intentionally, like, I was thinking along the lines of, like, YouTubers that have these conspiracy channels that they perpetuate, they make a lot of money. If you knowingly create content to distribute to the masses that you know is false, you know that this isn't true.
Well, to me, I would say, well, one, conspiracy theorists believe what they're saying.
Not all of them, though. There are some.
But see, I've spent a lot of time. I used to think about a lot, like creating a fake conspiracy channel and just making up crazy shit to see how funny. Like, I mean, a lot of the flat Earth people.
I mean, the intention is in the details, you know.
Yeah.
But if you, yeah, I think that's a poison in our society. Is people? I mean, it's bad enough that you do have people that actually believe the shit that they're spewing. That is less bad than, like, say, you know, you're making a bunch of money off of, you know, your flat Earth videos or your moon hoax videos or something, and at some point, because people are coming at you a lot, at some point you might have your mind changed, but you can't let anybody know about it. You have to continue because that's your living. And then I think at that point,
At that point, it's time to die.
it's time to die. Yep.
What about intentionally misleading other people for your own gain?
It depends.
That way you get rid of politicians, you get rid of trying to figure out a way to lump in anti-vaxxers in there too.
Well, I mean, books get sold on that shit, you know, and I don't think that every author of any books of any kind of woo or conspiracy or anything, I don't think that all of them actually believe it. And I think that's worth dying over.
You can self-publish a book on Amazon now.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta pay some money, but you can have a book that looks like a legit book that can be sold on Amazon.
People buy it. It's a legit book. Hell, I'm going to be doing it soon, probably. In a while.
There's a girl at work where she was adopted, and her mom pretty much made her life story into a book, and she's selling it on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
Which is a cool idea, but there's also people who do the anti-vaxxing and have the fake vax and all that shit.
What bothers me about that is that, and that's been in the news this week, is they're trying to get some, and I know nobody wants more regulation, but, you know, just how the recommender systems for YouTube and Facebook all bring up, you know, they're talking about the hate speech. They're really concerned about the World Health Organization and the anti-vaxxers. So if you go to just learn something about vaccines, if you went to type vaccinations into a search, it's gonna generate the anti-vaxxer stuff. Will populate the top of the list, and instead of just general information about a vaccine or getting vaccines or anything about it, it will automatically go to that, and they're trying to get that stopped, which I think is good.
Get what stopped?
So that when you type in vaccine
for vaccine,
so
the
doesn't
information
bring
anti-vaxxer shit to the
Google
the
can
top.
do that if they want to do that easily. Google already does that.
Yeah, they were going to tweak the recommender systems. I think YouTube was, but Facebook hadn't said they would yet. I don't know.
YouTube, they actually just announced, and this is where I don't really. I kind of agree with what Steve was saying with the conspiracy thing, but I don't to a certain extent. But because I think conspiracy stuff is it's just fun shit to think about. But their YouTube now has just started a thing this week where they're saying they're gonna basically start. What's the word? They're not gonna in any way. The algorithms is going to ignore any kind of conspiracy content. So anybody posts what they consider a conspiracy theory, whatever that may be, Google is gonna disallow it from searches, from recommend lists, or anything like that. So,
but I don't see that as helpful. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we talked about that on a previous episode.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, I think it is important that that ideas get out. It's just my caveat is when you know that what you're saying is false.
It's a weird thing. Like,
I mean, you might be exploring an idea, and I'm totally cool with that. There are conspiracies. It's not that conspiracies don't exist. They are there, but it'd be really helpful if we didn't have all this other shit clouding it. So we could, maybe actually find real conspiracies.
Yeah, I guess there's this book named. It's called Godless by Dan Barker. This is a book that helped me a lot. This is the book that initially kind of got me outside of the Christian bubble that I was in. This book, and what it's about is this guy was a minister. He was he did music. He did worship music for a church. He actually put out albums and stuff. And during that time when he was doing that, he stopped believing in God. But he had a family, and that was the only way he made money.
Right.
And so during that time, he spent a couple years, he kept doing Christian music and leading the worship band and all that shit while he didn't believe, just because it was the only thing he knew how to do. And then later on, he wrote a book. He came out of, he eventually came out of the closet on that. And, move forward. And
there's a community. I can't remember the name of it. I was watching a video by, I want to say it was The Verge. Is that the HBO show, The Verge? Or there's a kind of a news-ish, but they make like short little documentaries. Anyway, and they highlighted this online community of pastors that don't believe anymore, and most of them have quit their ministry, but there was a lot of them in there that were still ministering because it was all they ever knew, and leaving the church would not only be financially troublesome, but socially, and your family, all that stuff. So even though I said that, if you knowingly, I can kind of understand that if it's your entire livelihood. We just lost Patrick.
I also said the feed drop too.
But I could understand how it might take a while to get out of the situation. But once you're, I think once you know that what you used to think is not true, I think you should make your way out. Show yourself the door. It's tough, but people go through it all the time.
Does anybody else have an answer to this question?
It's hard to just kill somebody. I'm afraid. I can't. I mean,
well,
there's a lot.
It's a little bit hyperbolic.
I have one.
Dave, just say people that don't put their shopping carts in the corral.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Say parking for me.
Yeah.
Intentionally double park annoys the fuck out of me.
Yep.
I go park on the street the other day. Two people decided to double park and get a spot at all.
Quadruple
Two
parking.
people in the same parking lot. It's a small parking lot for my sister's swim meet. Two people in this tiny ass parking spot decided to double park. I go park on the street and walk into the swimming pool.
And who do they think they are? Why? Why are,
I know.
When you're getting out of your car, I mean, I don't know, maybe people are not that self-aware, but you think every time you get out of the car, you kind of notice where the line is. Okay, I'm good.
Right.
And you notice that you're way off, and you're like,
Especially if it's like individual with a brand new car or something, and I hate it when they'll park. I mean, I have seen at Walmart somebody quadruple park.
Quadruple?
Yeah, like across the
yeah, they will cross. Yeah. They will sit. They will get on the center line, go all the way through to the other two. So they are taking up 4 spaces. I have seen a guy driving.
It's a big truck.
A guy, I don't know. No,
big old truck.
No, it's worse than that. It's a
like
smaller vehicle.
Cars, yeah.
It's like one of those crossfires.
I parked right up next to him, like this close.
But I mean, so he's taking up these 4 spaces for a car that would barely even take up one.
Right.
But it's so dicky, man, and he always parks out far. And
well, if you park far away, I can kind of get it because it's a nice-ish car. You don't want people dinging it up, but definitely park far away.
See, but for the guys like me who park far away, because I think it's ridiculous to drive around and around and around, wasting 3 minutes because you're trying to find a spot that's 30 seconds closer to the store.
Right.
I'd choose the heart healthy option and would park further out. But because of Dick in the crossfire.
Dick in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess shopping carts. Yeah, don't put your shopping cart up. It's death. With the exception of rain, I usually give somebody a pass on that in the rain. I see an old lady and I would feel bad, but
no excuses, Dave.
Yeah, they're old.
You're making this a law, Dave. Damn.
Bekah.
Yes.
You really like rules?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us one you'd kill somebody over. Besides chewing. We know the chewing. Tell us something else.
I mean, it goes without saying, in reality, I probably wouldn't kill anyone.
No, let's get down to it. You would kill somebody.
Come on.
You don't actually have to kill them; they just die.
Yeah,
They just die.
It's
like death.
It's the forces from beyond.
Honestly, I mean, the only thing I can think of, it all just boils down to one category, and that is
turn signals.
People like it's turn signals. It's staying to the right in the grocery store. It's not cutting people off in traffic and then flipping them off, like projecting your fucking guilt and anger on them, even though you clearly were in the wrong. It's just everything that people do that is just unnecessary, like unnecessarily rude.
Being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I love this idea, this picture of every time Bekah goes to Walmart, she goes in, she gets her stuff, she walks out, and like 20 people drop dead for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that's probably where it would happen the most.
Steve-O.
Yo.
I want you to Google something that we can talk about.
Okay. Uh-oh. I think Patrick really had to pee that time.
I know, and
he's been raptured.
He's
back.
I'm gonna say on this, you called me out for messing with my mic for the last 20 minutes. Patrick is over there playing I don't know what on his.
He's
it's
trying to fix shit. I'm giving him a pass.
His cat's running on him.
It's my cat is what it is.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
he's losing his mind because he's not in the same room as me. And he keeps meowing, and then once I let him in here, he's just running all in here, just rubbing up on everything.
Rubbing
And
up
then-
on everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then he decided to try to attack me because I wasn't paying attention to him. So,
all right.
Yeah.
What you get?
That sounds like when the massage guy is going to come to my house.
He's just gonna sit outside your door and meow.
What
am I googling?
On your door.
I want you to Google the video of the road rage incident. It's been on the news this week.
Oh, geez, how the fuck?
I've seen several. That's going to be hard to narrow
The one
down.
where the guy is riding on the interstate on the dude's freaking hood.
That's a lot of them, Dave.
What?
Wow.
I've seen like 100 of those.
Road rage
Oh, you're
video this week.
I watch a lot of World Star.
All right, found it.
That's it. I told you. Check this shit out.
Let's see. Hopefully, I'm not gonna get a bunch of ads and shit pop up. Let's see. Oh, got ad number 1.
Fucking ads.
Oh.
Volume.
Too loud?
That's
It is loud.
Both men caught in this dramatic and dangerous
All right,
road rage
sharing.
incident on the Mass Pike appeared in court today, each blaming the other for a minor accident that got way out of hand. And what's incredible, as you look at that video again, is that nobody was seriously hurt.
Yeah, you can see the man just clinging to the front of that SUV just by his fingertips. The car at times traveling 70 miles per hour or more. Tonight, for the first time,
Guys
we're also
on the
hearing
roof
from the
or
Good
on the hood of his
Samaritan
car.
who got that driver to finally stop.
They didn't know if the guy was armed, so that's why I drew my weapon. And then I asked him to get out of the car because the guy was still running. The person was still on the hood, and he can still take off and kill the 2 other civilians that were there.
Samaritan was cleared of any wrongdoing. He did pull his gun, but he was licensed to carry. WBZ's Louisa Mueller is live along the Mass Pike tonight with more on the story. Louisa?
Okay.
Well, David, that Good Samaritan is also a veteran who says he would do it all again to avert a potential tragedy. Now, both men involved have faced a judge and are telling very different stories through their attorneys about what happened. Mark Fitzgerald and Richard Kamrowski sat just rows from each other.
Is there more good in here, Dave?
I just wanted to show that episode where that dude is traveling down the road at that speed. That's it.
I hope they're both put in a jail cell together. Fuck them both.
New law: if you drive down the road with a person on your hood that doesn't want to be there, you die.
Well, he jumped on there. I mean, the thing that bothers me is
would
that's
let him pass.
You don't know if he was standing in front of the guy's car and the guy just took off and he fell onto his hood and then grabbed on and the guy just like fucking started going. He's like,
well,
oh, what the fuck?
Well, I know how the story started from earlier in the week. How he ended up on that guy's hood.
He just got up and was like, "Ah!"
He was mad.
Hoping
The guy was trying to get away, and it was, it was going to be a hit and run. And he said, "No, you're not leaving." And he jumped on the hood, and the guy went, "Well, fuck you!" And he just kept driving, and then kept yelling. There's several videos of it because some of other people who were on the interstate were shooting video of it.
Right.
And the guy that was driving, because the window shield is actually broken. And because they both were idiots. That guy that was driving ended up throwing something out his window, and that guy, it broke that guy's window. So, it's just so stupid. But the guy that's driving and the guy's on the hood, he keeps swerving at 70 miles an hour going, "Get off my car." I mean, at 70 miles an hour, that if somebody gets off your car, they're dead.
They're dead.
I mean, it's so that's why I wanted to show it was they were both insane, and it started out and it just got worse and worse, and there was nobody was listening. They were just yelling and being fucking mad and road rage.
Was that a bystander that pulled a gun?
Yes.
Yeah,
They ended up. Actually, what happened was this guy's going down the road, and the guy's on the hood. Several cars actually pinned that car. A group of, everybody's in their car, all taking the chance, saying this is going to end badly, and they kind of steer him into, so that he has to stop, and then that other guy comes out from behind, and he's got his gun up, and he's pointing him at him and said, "Get out of the car," and then the cops showed up, and that other guy had to put his gun down and show because you could see that video where his carry permit and all that stuff, and it was just craziness, man.
Yeah,
crazy people.
Another great story, another great pro Second Amendment story. Get your guns out. I love the fact that guy was on the hood and held on.
But I don't think he's not innocent. He is not innocent.
No, I'm not saying he is. I'm just impressed that the guy held on.
Right?
How many movies have you seen that shit in?
Yeah, but
that guy did it in real life. He'll tell his grandkids that.
I mean, you get going that fast, and the wind, you don't know, like the wind gets up under you, and it could lift you up.
I mean, I'd want to let go just because I would get scared. I could.
Like, I'm done with this ride.
Yeah, I mean, I remember trying to ski once and going, "Okay, I'm ready to stop. I'm ready to stop. I'm ready to stop."
And then you just fall down.
Devo, we could totally try that. We could try that.
That's exactly how I imagine you would ski.
That it was. I actually. That's what happened. I went end over end. I flipped end over end and landed on my skis, and everybody else on the bunny slope on the rope that was going up applauded me.
What do you want to try, Brad? You want to take the Camry out on the interstate and see if I can hang on?
No, I was going to say we could go to that, whatever that abandoned, just a bunch of roads is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go there and do it.
I don't know if you can get up to 70, man.
Oh, not 70. Well, we'll start out with like 20.
Yeah.
We'll start, working.
I'm down.
Yeah, we got to do it with the Camry, though. I'm afraid. I think my hood is frankly too short. You know what I mean?
I think we can do it with the
Prius
Camry.
hood is very short, and it's sloped quite a bit. So I feel a lot safer on the hood of the Camry.
We'll do the Camry. That's fine.
Okay.
I want to be on the roof and then have you shooting through your ceiling.
I want to jump onto the roof from a bridge.
Oh, shooting bullets.
Yeah, shooting bullets through
not
your
shooting
roof.
film.
And I want a bomb in the car, so if you go below 45, it explodes.
Oh man, 45. Man, even Keanu Reeves wouldn't do that.
No, that was 50 actually.
Oh, 50.
Yeah, 50. Well, y'all, this has been a fucking fantastic podcast.
Yes.
I loved every minute of it. But we have now come to the time everybody's been waiting for.
The end.
The end.
No!
I think he means my poem.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bekah's poem. I'm not talking about because it's over. I'm talking about because everybody loves Bekah's poems.
Right?
And that's what the people want to hear.
We should just change the name of the podcast to Bekah's Poems.
Building Bekah's Poems.
See how it gets made.
Yes. My wife still doesn't believe me. All right.
My wife still doesn't believe in me. What? All right, that's enough.
Yeah. For now.
For now.
This poem is called Struggalos. and Dave, I think that's the best thing you've ever said.
Quite a statement. Quite a statement.
Listen to the story. Everything we had is gone. I have wrapped my head around it, narrowed it down, and it's the only way. Fix it or build another. What you used to think is not true, but you're getting an interesting advantage if someone still cares. It's the perfect solution. Know when to call it, or this is going to end badly.
I was just looking at Dave's face when he did that. Thank you very much, Bekah. Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for a great podcast.
Send us money on Patreon.
Shut up, Dave.
Dave,
Shut
you
up.
are really
Way
getting
early.
bad at that.
Way early.
Dave, you're gonna
Patreon.
lose your
Dave.
end of show privileges if you keep doing that shit. I'm gonna give it to Brad. Brad, respect it.
316 69 55. Leave a message or fuck yourself.
It was beautiful.
Patrick, you want to throw out that Patreon address?
Yeah, go to patreon.com/verbal assault. I think it's Verbal Assault Podcast, so I just sent it.
I think.
Now the way
You'll
we're
figure it out when you get there.
we get money there.
The way we're doing this now is everybody is on a hangout, so everybody's got a camera like right in their face, and the video is
amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah, just /verbal assault.
Yeah. So we need you to go ahead and give it a shot. Mixer.com/verbal assault podcast, or find us on YouTube. Search for Verbal Assault and then just filter it to channels. You'll find us on there. And
if you need something to jerk off to when you're in a massage waiting room, bathroom, give it a watch.
Yeah, after you just finished the massage.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we at.
That's it. We're done.
Dave, you could speak now.
Now's your time.
Deuces.